Time to kick ass.
I like that.
And chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Time to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
So, Revo, would you be up for taking a couple of viewer questions, or...?
Yeah, I can do.
Okay, I'll read them.
I will Revo buff the Nano.
Yeah, Nano is underpowered. So underpowered.
Definitely.
Revoemag, what kind of qualities do you look for in your women?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
They have to be interested in video games.
Yeah, yes, that's a definite.
Or the other question, is there a special man in Revo's life?
Yeah, I like that one.
No, there's not, but the slot's open if you're willing to apply.
And yet another question that could be involved, can I be your assistant?
No.
Oh, tough luck, Rambo.
Where does my name come from? My name comes from my days playing Dark Age of Camelot. It was the first nickname I used.
Oh, Dark Age of Camelot.
Yes, my original character was called Game Over, and I renamed myself to my Revoemag on my alt. So yeah.
Revoemag, are there any plans for optimizing graphics that can be in the near or distant future?
Depends what you mean by optimizing the graphics. I mean, we're always optimizing every patch we do. We try to put it in some form of optimization. But yes, 1.9 should include various optimization tweaks as well as the future patches.
Revo, have you played Ultima Online?
Yes, I've played Ultima Online. I played Ultima Online for a fair bit.
Fu Manchu, Revoemag, can you get me some coffee?
No. Not until he fixes his bugs.
Oh, you're never gonna get any coffee done.
Someone asking about a specific bug involving the GTX 600 series.
Yeah. We were looking into that. I don't have like a... Oh wow, I'm dead. I don't have a specific ETA on that one. I know that someone was looking into it.
Someone trademark.
Yes, someone trademark.
Dopefish list of suggestions.
Have you read that one, Revo?
Yes, I have.
All of it?
All of it. Every last sentence.
How long did it take you?
A fair bit, actually.
Revo, how do you usually deal with guys begging for help?
Fuck you, Proti! Fuck you!
You weren't doing a job.
This is my fucking job. He was having a conversation. I wasn't interrupting the fucking man.
How do you usually deal with guys begging for help from you when you're just trying to enjoy the game?
See, Medic, now he's doing your job as well.
It depends on how they ask me for help. If someone spams caps lock to whisper me, then I tend to just ignore them for the most part. But, you know, if someone's polite in a question, I can usually try help them out. But I don't tend to spend all my time trying to help people out. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm trying to play the game.
Johnny Depp, the Dopefish, Waluigi, the opposite of Luigi from the Mario series. You gotta... I don't know what that's supposed to say, because it's bleeped. One, marry one, or kill one.
I think it's fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Yeah, it's probably fuck one, yeah.
Definitely Dopefish.
On all accounts?
Oh, yes.
Revo, any plans to finally create an entirely new vehicle in APB?
Not at this moment. I think we're still working on the various kits for the current vehicles. We only really have one vehicle guy, which kind of limits his scope on what he can do. But he works very hard, and the content he churns out is very good. But no, not at the moment. Not at this moment in time. We have discussed it though.
Will there be an official video contest?
Now, that is an interesting question.
Like a tutorial video contest or something?
It's something I've been sort of thinking and planning about as of late. I definitely want to do more with the streamers and the filmers of APB, because everyone films in APB and everyone streams in APB, so we need to do something with them.
Yeah, that's basically free PR.
Yes, exactly. So I have some stuff in the works.
Revoemag, ETA and Fresno kits.
Oh my god, I muted you for a fucking reason!
I think 1.9. Now that's not confirmed, but that's a fairly good
Oh shit, oh shit.
That's a fairly good guess. When will there be Vuvuzela car parts? Not soon enough. What about nerfing the Oka and all those stuff people bitch about? Well, it's kind of tough to just nerf weapons based on like what people cry about. I mean, I don't personally think the Oka needs a nerf. I think the PMG is just underpowered in comparison.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
agree with
still
you on
good.
that one.
Yeah, it's still good, but it's not, you know, on par, which is probably why you see more Orcas than you do PMGs. Silenced PMG is something we're discussing.
Oh god.
Silence every weapon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, come on, silenced PMG would be amazing.
Sorry if I interrupted, but doesn't like Tommy Gun take the Oka's place in like how the weapons have their own niches and stuff? Or maybe they're not supposed to have niches.
No, the Tommy gun is still a little less accurate in close range, I think.
Yeah,
It
the
has
Tommy
higher
Gun's
spread when you're on the move.
Tommy Gun's a bit more difficult to use as well. Given that you have the ADS, that can kind of screw you. Like when you're in CQC with the zoom, it can make it quite difficult.
Revo, any plans for underused guns such as the LG or the Shaw?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the Allig and the Shaw are really kind of niche weapons, I guess. Shaw's seen a bit more use since we buffed it last patch, but they're kind of dangerous guns. The second you go slightly overboard, they just become ultimate killing machines.
Revo, do you miss APB Monkey?
Do I miss APB Monkey? Yes, I do.
It's like
Buffing the snub. That's blasphemy. The snub nose is the most overpowered gun in the game.
Revo, do you plan on having famous APB streamers on APB Launcher on news sections like LoL does every month?
That is something that we're discussing. I suppose it's slightly more difficult given the content of the game, but it's something that we would like to do. We do because, like I said, everyone in APB streams, so I think featured streamers would be a nice thing.
Revo, can we get an in-game zombie apocalypse?
An in-game zombie
No.
apocalypse.
No.
Well,
no,
do you
no.
imagine how much work this is?
I feel like that could be a Halloween event.
Oh, on the left. Zombies.
In 2 years.
One is upstairs, didn't see him.
Zombies would be cool. I don't think we'd ever
Aliens.
do it.
Revo, what about the scout jamming bug?
Scout jamming bug. I'm honestly unaware of this. If someone would like to clue me in, that would be great.
Revo, what is going to happen with the DMR?
What's going to happen with the DMR? As far as we're aware, nothing at the moment. It is on our radar though, because it is kind of like an underused underdog weapon.
Is the assist bug fixed yet?
Assists will be getting a bit of a boost in 1.9 to help sort of deal with the lack of assists that
He's
people have
behind.
been.
Awesome.
Two-part question, kind
Good
of. Like, we'll combine these two. Will there be slotted secondary weapons soon,
Oh,
and
no.
will there also be skins for these secondaries? Or was more of the secondaries?
Will there be slotted secondaries anytime soon? What was the second one, sorry?
Well, will there be skins
Ammo
for
here.
the secondaries, like the Joker pistol and stuff like that?
Slotted secondaries is something we've talked about. I don't think it's something planned to do immediately. It requires a UI rework.
Tagged him, though.
But I imagine it's something
Thank
we
you.
would like to be able to do. And RFP skins in 1.9, I'm honestly not positive. I don't think so. 1.9's, I think, Osmo and PMG skins.
Revoemag, is there going to be an Armis
Nightmare.
permanent weapons
Ooh,
discount
wow.
on something for new players to benefit from?
Armis permanent weapon discount or something for new players to benefit from. This is not really my area, but I do believe that we have something in mind. We're all about trying to get new players in and
Yeah, like
get them introduced to Armis. I mean, half the joy of getting people introduced to Armis is the realization that the Armis weapons are not complete pay-to-win guns like they are in some games.
one of the suggestions I had was like I don't know
One
if you're,
below.
like, if you're a big Steam person, Revo, but like a lot of the free-to-play games lately have been doing like bundle packs for starters.
Yes, there's a lot of start packs.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do like a mini version of the retail pack, something like that.
Yeah, we've got something like that in those.
Revo, is there scale form planned for 1.9 release?
No, sadly not. It's a lot of work.
Any plans for the Oka Nano?
Not at this time, no.
Are there any plans for bringing back a leaderboard system or possibly a clan warfare game type?
Yes, there are. We can't really go into much detail at the moment, but it is something that Quentel's quite keen about.
I love you.
On both the leaderboards or in the clan warfare or what?
Yeah, there's a couple of bigger issues we'd like to deal with first, but it is definitely something that we want to do.
Will there be a desert scarf / goggles customizable in the Joker ticket for 1.9?
No. we do have something planned for them, but we'd like to hold them back until we have the female equivalents as well. It feels slightly unfair not having female equivalents.
Will there be permanent weapons sold at the Joker ticket thingy?
Not at the moment, no. It's only leased weapons. But it's 30-day leased weapons.
Revo, I think we've already asked this, but Revo, what do you think of user-submitted video tutorial system for APB, accessible in-game, like LOL?
It can be good. It kind of goes both ways. These kind of systems take a lot of work, like a lot of management, because you don't want silly things going in there. So it takes a bit of reviewing, and we just don't have the numbers to manage a hefty system like that. I mean, it's okay for Riot because they have a humongous team, but something like that maybe not. But we have talked about, or I at least have talked about, a user-submitted tutorial system.
Revo, will there ever be a bra that male characters can wear?
Oh god, yes.
I suppose potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't do clothing request as such. Like, you know, a highly demanded clothing is something we definitely take into account. So if it's highly demanded, we
A male
consider
bra is highly demanded.
it. That's not true. We do have GMs on all the servers. Are there any plans for new or different variety of missions? Kind of. I mean, different variety of missions is something we're constantly trying to come up with, whilst also streamlining and fixing the old ones. There's a lot of missions that we'd like to change or get rid of, and just sort of narrow down the scope of missions to the ones that are fun and enjoyable.
The guy keeps asking about the retail pack. I'm pretty sure you can still buy a retail pack, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you said something that the code doesn't expire anymore, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we just left it on permanently.
Revoemag, would you be able to buy premium time in the Joker ticket?
Not at the moment, no. It's something we thought about and discussed, but we weren't quite willing to let people do it. But we'll see in future.
Oh.
Plans on creating a Russian server. There's actually a Russian version of the game run by Innova that you can download and play.
It actually
It's
works with the
Yeah, it's a couple of versions behind R1,
Yeah, that's why.
but it's all hosted in Russia, and it's got its own Russian shop, and it's basically its own game, pretty much. I think New Breed's actually, the voiceover for New Breed's done, I think Farfetch'd finished it recently. So that should be going out on the Russian servers soon.
Revoemag, how do you get the tickets for the new market?
By playing Fight Club at the moment. We do plan to expand it into mission districts, but that's going to take slightly longer, and we didn't feel like delaying the patch.
Are there any plans to fix the grenade bugs where the nades will get stuck inside of you and explode, or the nades will fall out the side of your body when you throw it?
It's kind of like on our awareness list, but we don't specifically know what causes it. But once we work out what causes it, yes, we do intend to fix it. It's just a matter of nailing the cause.
Innova, APB anti-cheat system compared to Punkbuster? Are you planning on using it?
Frost.
Yeah, Frost. That's one.
What do I think of it? I don't really have an opinion. I've not encountered. Well, for a start, I'm not a cheater, so I wouldn't know for sure. But from what I've heard, it works pretty well. And do we plan on using it? I'm not sure. I mean, to give Punkbuster credit, it's really kind of upped its game in the past few years, and our version of Punkbuster works quite well.
That's a pretty good question right here. Or statement, really. The walking bug for when you have weapons, you no longer can actually walk, it just jogs slowly.
Yeah.
I think that's
Like
actually fixed in
this.
1.9.
I have another question for you. Do you have plans for the pickup exploit for the heavy items, or is this... or this is not important at the moment?
I mean, it is important because it's a bit of a lame one. It really kind of... The people that can do it very well can pretty much sprint with the items. So it is something I personally like to see fixed, but I don't know if it's kind of on our to-do list as such. I assume that it is, but with only really having one designer, sometimes these things can be slightly slow. Just because he's constantly bogged down in work. But I will ask.
Will there be new mods or weapons in 1.9?
New mods or weapons? Don't think there's any new weapons in 1.9. And as far as I'm aware, there's also no new mods in 1.9. It's more just an expansion of availability rather than actual new assets.
Is there any chance you will ever add smoke grenades or flashbang grenades?
Smoke grenades is something we've discussed. I personally think it'd be quite cool, but first we have to fix the lag issue that smoke generates, which is something we've also been working on. We've been dealing with the lag issues coming from fire and smoke and just general explosions, trying to reduce the lag they cause.
Can we get up here?
So not at the moment, no, not until we kind of deal with the issues generated by them.
Will there be any new civilians?
I want diversity when I mindlessly run them over.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Like
We want-
new facial hair.
Yeah. Gandalf
Oh,
beard.
actually, we
Yeah.
were discussing this recently. I do
Really?
believe
Extremely long beard.
Monty
Yeah.
would like to do something to get more sort of facial hair and just general hair options into the game.
Cool.
It's not something that would come soon, but it is
Aw.
something that he does definitely want to do, and he usually does the things that he wants to do.
Ah, awesome.
There is a good chance in the future that we will have more.
Is there any chance you will add a way to spectate another player?
It's a tough one. I mean, I like the way League of Legends did it with the nice 4-minute delay, but it's a bit different to from an RTS to a TPS, and it's probably a very complex system. It would be nice, but I don't think we'll ever do it.
Will
Personally,
there be any professions?
profession.
Something to do when you're not doing missions?
Like fishing.
Crafting
yeah,
armor.
fishing. I
I want
want
to fish in the marina.
Your professions are the clothing booths, my friends.
Oh.
Persona and clothing, that's your crafting right there. But no, not really. I mean, stuff to do in social is something we really want to do, because social is, we've seen what
Yeah,
people do in
exactly.
social.
Everyone loves to fish.
Fishing would be really cool.
Yeah.
We should definitely add fishing.
Will you ever add NPC police officers, or my question extension would be like G King, like regular people walking
Sort of
around the streets?
faction related AI kind of thing.
Yeah.
I that's an interesting one. I've never really considered that personally. I don't know if anyone else has. I mean, it would look cool, but I don't know if it would really be worth it, I guess. I mean, I suppose it would add to immersion, but we would have to really kind of dictate kind of what they do, and it would either be that they would just act like normally LC, or we would have to create sort of special rules for them to do things, and it sounds like potentially a lot of work for what is very little gain.
Revo,
Hello.
why can't women be fat?
I honestly don't know. It's
Oh.
it's something I have also pondered in my spare time.
You need to add that.
Yes.
And flat-chested women.
So I've kind of been provided with an answer to the fat ladies question. Basically, when the game was under WebZen, they weren't too keen on larger women, so we never kind of did it. And we,
Oh, really?
think we
Who
ever,
is?
Ah.
I don't think we ever kind of came back from that.
Did I heard something about fat women?
Yeah.
I just woke up.
So yeah, in regards to the fat ladies one,
Yeah,
it's,
but
it's a difficult one because of the way the females were originally designed, all their clothing assets are designed in
Believe
similarity.
in you.
So that if we add any very large ladies, it will break a lot of the clothing assets, and it will be a lot of work to bring them round. I mean, it's something we'd love to do, but it's not feasible at this moment.
Any chance of adding
Yeah.
more video options to reduce lag?
In regards to the video options, yes, it's something we definitely intend to do. We actually want to start looking at the player configs, especially. So the players have come up with some very nice configs, some of which are a little bit dodgy.
You get banned from
But
using them.
there are some interesting ways that they've managed to optimize the game, and we'd love to put in some sort of, some of the options that they have there into the game. But obviously, it requires the UI rework, which is something we're working on. Speedos.
Yeah.
Okay, sound
It's
is back.
It's pretty much the same answer as the man bra kind of thing.
Oh.
If it's widely requested, then I suppose.
Will there be an option to adjust the order of guns?
Oh,
Like
sort
with
of
the
locker management system.
Yeah.
Oh, my game has crashed.
Order the guns?
Yes, or gun order. That's something we'd love to do. it also comes under the same issue as before, where we require UI work to do it. We're currently working on that. I mean, we have a new UI artist that's turning out absolutely brilliant work. Her work is exceptionally good. And, you know, we're working on getting that stuff in.
Will you have announcers in the game?
Potentially. It's something we've discussed, having an announcer, but it's a matter of taste, really. Announcers wouldn't really add all that much to certain aspects of the game. It's kind of like some people love it, some people hate it kind of thing.
Have you considered Toby's field of view fix bannable?
Toby's field of view fix does not work in 1.9. We don't approve. I mean, there's some client edits that we don't mind. It's still very shady doing it. However, some of them, like the FOV fix, it just kind of damages gameplay. Then we don't like it. So it's been fixed, and they will no longer be able to do it.
Real-time world shader dot, will that work in 1.9?
It should do, yeah. As far as I'm aware, Toby's FOV change is pretty much the only one we've disabled in 1.9. Like I said, because the client edits kind of bring in a nice bit of optimization for some of the players, it would feel kind of harmful to the gameplay to disable a lot of them.
Capture, it's right here.
Any plans to rework the Fight Club spawn system?
It's probably one of those things that they're constantly being worked on, but really only in small increments as opposed to like major changes.
Would that be going for the same for normal districts spawns?
Again, constantly being tweaked, not really ever being properly revamped. I mean, properly revamping something is very serious amount of work and time. I mean, the APB spawn system is in itself actually quite effective. The only downside to it is that it doesn't really see buildings and gaps.
Question: clan districts ever going to happen? And also, like, would you ever make districts that would be private for
Now
like
that's-
films or events or etc.?
It's a tough one. It's something we've discussed. We really have kind of argued it back and forth a fair bit. Clan districts themselves, probably not. But it kind of comes into the same question of private districts, I guess. I mean, private districts for event purposes would be fun and probably quite doable and something we'd like to do. But we'd have to make sure that it's not in any way exploitable. It's a fair bit of work, but it's something we would like to do, I think. But it's kind of like a low priority kind of thing. It's more of it would be nice to do, but it's not required.
What kind of car kits can we expect in 1.9 with the Joker tickets?
Yeah, there's the Fresno. Oh god, the Fresno parts. I think the hot rod kit as well. And that I think for the moment that's kind of it. But we do intend to add more. It's something that we'll be continually expanding upon. It's not just going to go in and then be abandoned. It's something we want to build on because we feel it's a nice addition to the game. Because it's something that's been, requested for a while as a way to get armless weapons in game, as well as adding some sort of replayability to various things. It also helps break up the monotony of Fight Club. One of the things we did for Fight Club is the addition of activities. What activities are is they're like mini challenges, I guess. They basically require you to do little things in the game mode to kind of break up the monotony of the gameplay. So it could be get 3 kills with pistols, arrest 5 people, get 3 assists, just small things. And there are 3 different ranks of bronze, silver and gold of these challenges, and they increase in difficulty as they go up, and you get better rewards for completing them.
Just so you can confirm it with all these people, they keep
It's,
asking about racing districts and Asylum. Those have been discontinued for the moment,
Racing
right?
District has been put on hold, yes. We've never released a statement on Asylum, and I'm not going to comment on it at this time. But you can interpret that how you like, but I have no statement on Asylum. It's in the same state, well, not the same state as it was before, but it's the same stance as we always have on Asylum.
I'll interpret it in a good way. Any plans on making the skateboard pack and the radio pack available to all?
Potentially, it's something. They're very, very, very desirable clothing assets. So we've kind of held them back a bit for now. We're discussing various ways of getting them out there, but not at this moment, no.
On the other hand, it's pretty cool to be able to get some unique clothing that's only available from winning contests.
Yeah, and yeah, they are very rare. You don't often see people with skateboard backpacks, and we kind of like that. But then that's one of the reasons we have a crown with the Joker shop, is that the crown adds this very, very super desirable item that's incredibly hard to get. But once you have it, you know, everyone sees you and goes, "Holy shit, that guy's
good,
awesome."
man.
Can you reveal exactly how you get the crown?
It's just a very copious amount of Joker tickets. So you know, it's kind of like one of those "do I really want to go for it" kind of items. Which obviously there is always someone out there that does want it and will inevitably get it.
One of my personal questions, if anybody says anything, I'm gonna slap him. Are there any plans to make a tactical helmet for Crims? Or any type of thing like that? Like a paramilitary type
A
helmet?
do-rag.
Yes, no, we have
Durag would be cool.
various
Yeah.
different clothing types in the works, and criminal sort of body armor is definitely one of them that's actually being worked on at this moment.
Also for the pads on the legs, how enforcers have the option for the dual wielding guns and the dual wielding packs. Would those be on Crim as well?
I think some variant of them would be, yes. Because we want to move away from having just the same clothing available to both factions. We'd like to really kind of show the difference between the factions. And that one way of doing that is obviously via clothing packs and car kits, which is what we're working on. So I saw someone ask about high heels in the comment section. Yes, high heels are making a comeback. We've fixed the problem.
Oh, I think that's
Expanded question to the high heels. Are you planning to make the boots high heels as well?
I don't know.
That would be kind of
actually.
nice.
That would be kind of cool. I'll put that in as a suggestion.
I think a lot of people will be happy about hearing about the high heels coming back.
Yeah, it's a massive kind of thing. It's such a small item, but it's a massive request, and it's one of the reasons we sat down and went, right, what the hell is causing this problem, and potentially fixed it.
Please, medic, ask about the perk nades.
Perks. Nope.
I feel like at the offices of G1 they're just throwing perks at each other right now.
I mean, but we don't tend to rush into weapon balance decisions. Like, it's always a very careful process, because if you're not careful with it, you end up breaking something, and we wouldn't like to see them made unusable. Like, nobody likes things that are never used. There's just no point to it. One of the methods we've been discussing is changing the swing timer on the grenades, which is the time in which it takes to throw the second grenade, or just the grenade in general. Kind of like the wind back on your arm. We feel that would be kind of like a decent fix, but we're still testing internally on which one we kind of want to go with. But yes, we are looking at the perk issue, if you want to call it that. Because I've been bugging Quintil about it for a while. I'm not a huge fan of perks.
Good
Really?
perks.
Oh my!
Keeping with the transvestite questions, they want to
Right.
know when the high heels will be able for male characters. So I'm assuming it's the same. as
Hopefully
before.
never.
Never. Yeah, it's the same answer for most of these questions, I'm afraid.
Will you add skins for the grenades?
Never really
Pokemon
thought
sir.
about that. I mean, I don't know if you'd ever really see the grenades long enough for us to skin them. I don't know how
course you
difficult
do.
it would be. Grenades aren't treated like normal weapons are, so I don't know how we'd actually skin them. I can ask Monty if you'd like.
Yeah, please.
According to Monty, it is perfectly plausible to do skinnable grenades.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that we'll do it, but it does mean
Yay.
that we can do it. Are there any chances to chains of car performance kits, as in suspension, tires, gears, ratios, and things like that? Probably not, because the whole point of the clothing and the customization in APB has always been that it has zero effect on gameplay. The second we kind of suspend that rule is, it's kind of risky, because then, if we suspend it for this specific case, what's to stop us from suspending it from clothing and everything like that? And it's not really a path we want to go down. So probably not, no.
Someone's asking, you say that the radio backpack and skateboard will not be in 1.9. Are you certain about this, as Monty made a post saying they would be in the next group of contacts?
When was that post made? Now, because originally, now 1.9 was never originally New Breed Part 2, but we felt that leaving it too long with New Breed Part 2, so we brought it forward. But as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. We shouldn't be doing it, but like I said, my word is not law. I don't really deal with these things, but as far as I'm aware, no. Will we ever add Spider-Man to the game? No, sadly not. He's trademarked.
Players already do.
Will there ever be motorcycles? No, there will never be motorcycles. Motorcycles are just no.
The weapons on the Joker shop, will these have rating requirements?
No, because they are effectively armless weapons that are just available through an alternate form of currency.
So the Oshma could be bought with the tickets. From
The
one of
Osmo,
those.
yeah. To clarify, the Osmo is pretty expensive. I mean, to get an Osmo, from 0 to however much it costs, would take a fair bit of time, and your chances are your average new player is not really going to be so much of a new player by the time he's racked up enough tickets to get it.
I think it's more like a bonus when you high rank or something and you get enough tickets or so.
Yeah.
You can buy additional weapons as a reward for your in-game time.
Yeah, it just means you don't have to buy everything on Armus.
Why is this game not first person?
Because first-person games are too mainstream and we're hipsters.
My answer to this question is why have such a sophisticated customization when it's not third person then? You never see your character, that would be kind of waste.
I used to work for APB to be a first-person game, but I've come to realize it would be such a different game. It wouldn't be the same thing to play anymore. It wouldn't be as fun as it is now.
Why is there no more Joker Box 1? The Joker Box 1 was removed to kind of keep the circulation of sitting ducks at a reasonable level.
Fucking Dopefish.
We want the sitting duck to be kind of like a desirable weapon, but not like too easy to get your hands on. It's the same with all the end tier Joker Box weapons.
What about melee weapons?
Melee weapons. Oh, actually, melee weapons. Someone asked me earlier before what was my
They're called
favorite memory
perks.
of APB. My favorite memory of APB was when we had melee weapons and I one-hit a dump truck with a baseball bat. So, no, melee weapons is we had it, and they weren't very well done. I mean, we could potentially do them, but I don't think we ever will.
I'm afraid it's gonna be like people corner humping with melee weapons. Somebody run around the corner and they get whacked.
That's what it was back then. It was shotgun and baseball bat on the corner. It was awful.
What about macros? Will they be like bannable?
It's a tough one. I mean, macro software is so commonplace these days. You know, almost everyone has a macro installed. It depends what you refer to as macroing. I mean, you know, I've got a friend that has a macro just for push to talk. You know, do we ban him for that? Macros are kind of like those grey areas. I mean, because of the limitations of the game, macros will never give you the ultimate advantage. They'll never give you an advantage that isn't attainable by, you know, normal means. So I don't really think so. But you know, if you macro so badly that Punkbuster thinks you're cheating, then that's your own fault. But I don't think it'll ever happen personally.
Yeah, it's already kicking if you're using third-party software to do the macros like AutoHotkey, I believe. But we were discussing this a little bit earlier, some day ago in the clan, and I think it was Shiznik mentioned that Team Fortress 2 had an issue with macros, and instead of...
They changed their weapons
Yeah, they
to
changed-
make
The pistols, they changed the pistols, the press down, it fires at the maximum cycle rate.
Yeah, I mean, but we kind of addressed that with, I mean, most of the guns you'll have problems with the macros is mainly the Joker, the carbine. We kind of took a wee sort of punch at fixing that with the sort of accuracy nerf. And you know, the problem is you can't really balance weapons around third-party tools. It's just not something you. But that said, it's macros are kind of they're just a difficult area, really.
The secondary assault shotgun, is that still planned?
I guess so. I mean, we have tons of weapons that we've kind of just concepted but never really run with. It's kind of like a shame. The main problem is they actually need models. Some of them actually need animation work as well, which is a fair bit of work.
Makiko's X sword.
As a clothing asset?
Yes.
No, Akiko's X's sword is actually not a piece of clothing. It's actually baked onto her model. It was never actually a piece of clothing in the game. That said, we have discussed putting it in as a clothing asset. I think it's on the requested list. Like our character guys have a wall dedicated to upcoming clothing and clothing planning. I think Akiko's katana is on there somewhere, but that doesn't really confirm anything. It just means it's something we've thought about and probably like to do.
Another thing with the Joker expiring weapons, is it going to be like a 10-day timer or what?
I'm fairly confident it's 30 days.
Can you add snow to the game?
No. I mean, weather effects would be nice, but again, with performance issues that we have, because APB is free to play, you have a really broad spectrum of player PCs. So before we add any sort of things that will start to hog memory or things like that, you really kind of want to work on your optimization, which is, like I said, something we're working on big time.
That fog.
Yes, that fog.
Rollerblades!
That was too much enthusiasm for that.
Yeah, with a lot of enthusiasm. Rollerblades, I honestly don't have a statement on that one. Probably not, no.
Will animations ever be improved in APB?
Not in the foreseeable future, but there's no reason to say that they would never be improved.
A Segway?
A Segway.
Rollerblades on your back.
A Segway would be awesome. Oh, kind of like rollerblades hanging from the laces.
Yeah.
Now that's a good suggestion actually. I'll suggest that to the clothing
know,
guys.
right?
That would look really cool.
I got a question here. I got this PM in game. The Vegas Firebomb, will it be possible to buy that with Joker Texas in 1.9?
Yes, it's in the trailer. It's in the shop. It's buyable.
What about capes?
Capes. I don't know. We don't really have clothing animation, so
Oh,
probably
you should
not.
fix
No.
that.
That's a good question. The Oscar rifle, Oscar carbine.
The Joker carbine. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
What's the random code? Oh well. It's actually got a bug at the moment that if you think sprint firing is bad with the carbine, you should see it with the burst fire carbine. It's yeah, a little bit scary. It's kind of been put on the back burner. Like weapon fixing is really kind of like for weapons that aren't released. It's kind of like a low scale fix while we try to fix some of the main issues with the game. But it is still one of those guns that we want to get out.
With the fix of the field of view, will there be a chance to change the field of view? Like
No, not at the moment. No. I don't know in the future. One of the thing with these things is they're again all UI fixes or changes. Sorry, but at the moment, no.
Baggy jeans for females. That's a good question.
Baggy jeans for females. I'm sure we had a discussion about this with the character team. There was some specific issue that prevented us from doing it at the time. Again, one of those things that's kind of like we'd love to do it, but I don't know if we will. I guess we will at some point, because the female clothing is something specifically that they are working on, because female clothing is dreadfully lacking at the moment. It's mainly all underwear, which is kind of lame.
Lingerie.
Unless you like wearing underwear. And nothing but underwear, which a fair bit of the community do, which is fair enough.
Of course, Shinny would ask this question. Cat ear headband.
I do believe that's on the to-do list, because that's a heavily requested item.
Here's a personal question for me.
Okay, that way.
Are there any changes looking into the T25?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the T25 is it kind of. I think it kind of works really.
I mean, I like it. It's just that it has nothing amazing,
doesn't have
like nothing like it's good at.
Yeah, I would like to see us, kind of readdress some of the older vehicles. That would be nice.
And also body kits for it, nice.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we only have one vehicle guy, and he's kind of swarmed with doing, one kit at a time. I mean, he we've gone from a team that, vehicle kits were like, I think it was like 15 guys or something that did the vehicle kits before, and even then it took them a while, so one guy doing it all by himself, yeah, it takes his time. But he is doing it. I mean, if he gets to it, he gets to it, but we kind of have to prioritise things on a sort of a desirability basis as well. So, a T25 body kit's probably not as desirable as, like a mega awesome Jericho and Bashada kit.
Dalton Broadwing race kit.
Is that a suggestion?
Oh, is it a suggestion or a question?
I think it's a suggestion. I guess, potentially,
Hello?
I guess. I mean, I guess all vehicle kits kind of really all come under the same answers. But it's, it would be nice, but like I said, one vehicle guy, long process.
Will there be a command to set your max FPS?
No, for reasons that we don't really discuss, there is a deliberate FPS cap. It's related to performance, is all I'll really say on the subject. A couple of weeks back when we did the performance tests where we played around with the client caps and the server caps, we found that 100 FPS was, enough for most people to reliably run at and film at without going overboard and running into the problems that we figured we'd run into. We do plan to have an FPS cap unique to 120Hz monitors, because 120Hz monitors like to run at 120 frames, sorry, and if they don't, it's kind of defeating the point of having a monitor, and we'd like to fix that.
Someone asked why there's not going to be motorcycles, but I don't know if
Why
you
is
can
there no
answer
motorcycles?
that. Why there will not be?
It's motorbikes are a big task. The main issue, one of the main issues that we would have with them is that you can't really do breakable glass and like player hitboxes interacting with vehicles, so you can't shoot someone that's in a car. So the same would be applied to someone that's on a bike. It would look kind of strange if some dude rolls past on a bike and you can't shoot him.
What about throwing weapons?
Perks?
What?
They're called
Yeah,
grenades.
stones and knives and stuff.
Knives? Sorry, it's not melee weapons.
No, throwing melee weapons.
Well, what throwing
Bananas.
weapons is something we have been looking at. I think the first throwing weapon we've done is, and I don't know when this is coming out, but we have made it and it does exist. Is a brick. You throw a brick at someone. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
change it to a stone.
If you have it as your car mod, you can just pull it out, throw it.
When you make a character small length, the hitbox will be smaller. Is the same for a character. It's the same for every character. Hitbox sizes are universal. But it's one of the issues we had to do with such heavy customization. Otherwise, everyone would run around as bald midgets.
Why?
Crosshair customization.
Yes, that's something we do want to do. It's something we do have planned. Again, comes under we have to wait till the new UI goes in. But yeah, crosshair customization would be nice because everyone likes, changing their crosshairs, as we've no doubt seen
Faster
from
cars.
everyone's stream. Faster cars. Cars have a speed limit for a specific reason. If you go above that speed limit, you can run into all sorts of kind of problems. Like I can crash my PC by setting my speed rate so high that I run across the district and everything tries to render at once, and my PC kind of goes and dies. So there is a speed limit for a specific reason. Because if someone's got a not so great PC and they suddenly go too fast and hit a point where it can't render and it tries to do everything at once, it might just fry something.
I see no one's asking about the titles. Is there anything you can tell us about the titles?
Other than that there's a lot of them and they're awesome. Yeah, they're kind of like, we wanted something cheap to put in for Joker tickets, something kind of like very cheap, but sort of at the same time desirable. So we put in a ton of titles. There's also various other titles like achievements unlock titles. You get a title that's your clan name, things like that. And there's funny ones and silly ones and serious ones and cool ones. The usual stuff. There is a lot of them. Quental did a really good job in coming up with a whole ton of them.
Shoot people in a car.
Probably not going to happen, no. I mean, destructible sort of windshields and stuff is something we'd like to do, but it's actually more difficult than it sounds. It falls into the we'd love to do it, but I don't think we ever will category, I guess.
Will there be any bringing back of the weekly Banhammer reports on the forums?
I mean, I guess so. The problem is that we kind of winnowed down the actual amount of cheaters in the game. I know everyone's going to accuse me of lying on this one, but still, it's the truth, sadly, or well, not sadly, I guess. And people will complain when they see a small ban list because the perception of cheating in APB is so high. You know, like, I think there's probably only like half as many cheaters as people like to think there is. It's just that, you know, some guy beat me, you know, he can't possibly be better than I can. He must be cheating. Now, this doesn't go for everyone, and obviously there are cheaters, we won't deny it. But, you know, when the weekly ban wave goes out and there's only like 30 names on it, everyone freaks out and, you know, goes, oh, they banned nobody. But it's, you know, it's not really true. We ban a lot of people. We just try catch as many cheats as we can. It's kind of a reactive process rather than a proactive process. You can never fully stop cheating, you can only react to them every time they get past it. Will there be customizable titles? Not at the moment, no. It'd be cool to do, but it could be really badly abused. With optimization, do you think that would help if the physics were directed to the video card, not the CPU? And if so, are there any plans to change it? Well, I'm not a massive tech junkie, and I wouldn't really be able to comment too well on it. Physics are mainly done, I suppose there are client-side physics, but a lot of our physics is actually done server-side. So it wouldn't make a massive difference. Things like ragdolls and boxes and, you know, just small environment things are client-side, but for the most part physics is actually calculated server-side. So not really, no. I mean, it potentially could be something we do. I mean, APB is incredibly CPU intensive. We'd like to move away from that and put more emphasis on graphics cards, because gamers these days tend to have really high-end graphics cards and not too high-end CPUs. It's just kind of like this perception that graphics card can do everything.
A real sniper scope.
That kind of comes into the UI thing. I assume you're kind of referring to the brilliant UI concept video that someone did a while back, which was by one of the old, it was by one of the old RTW employees. That was all done in After Effects, but it would be kind of cool, and it would be something we do want to do. We have discussed it, but it's a very, very far away kind of thing. It's not something we do now.
Alright.
Are there any plans to add the old threat icons in some form? I prefer the old G10 icons to the current ones.
Probably not, no. The second you allow players to sort of pick and choose, the second it gets very confusing. I mean, I don't think it would be something we'd ever really do. It just has too many problems, too many ways it could go wrong, become very confusing for players, especially newer players. You know, we already have a lot of icons as it is. The second you allow players to switch them out in and out, it just becomes like, what rank is he?
Another question was would you have like a big deal type title for people who had gold 10? Would there be any way to trap?
I don't think so. The whole gold 10 thing is kind of come and gone. Probably not, no. I mean, we've kind of moved away from the whole gold 10 kind of thing. We don't really want to dwell on it. It was a bad system, and it promoted all sorts of dodgy gameplay and just sort of bad sportsmanship, and I don't think so. I mean, like, for the people that had the achievement, potentially, but there was a lot of people that never actually got the achievement because of the bugs in the achievement system. So it would be kind of unfair to do it, and we have no real way of verifying it other than very tedious log searching.
What's your favorite dish? What do you like to eat most?
Oh damn, sorry. I don't know, I like pizza.
Same.
Everyone likes pizza.
Okay.
I don't know who asked it, but someone said about neon lights.
Neon lights requires dynamic lighting. Sort of neon lighting, like underglow lighting and stuff like that, requires hefty dynamic lighting, which we don't have at the moment. It's something we'd like to do, but interesting enough, putting dynamic lighting in is actually very heavy amount of work. It's something we'd like to do, but it's a question of, is it kind of worth the timescale kind of thing. But we've been looking at various ways to kind of, I don't want to say fake it, but kind of do it without having to spend months putting in a dynamic lighting system. And we've come up with some ways. I don't know if we'll ever do underglow lighting, but we've come up with ways to have slightly more reflective lighting.
Have you ever discussed the third shading and the third lighting?
That was one of the ways we were talking about doing it. Coke or Pepsi? Actually, either or. I can drink either. I actually quite like Pepsi. Kill me now, I know.
Why can't you shoot through doors?
Why can't you shoot through doors?
Can't fit.
Why can you?
Why can't you shoot through doors?
Yeah.
It's just a hitbox issue, really. It is something we should probably fix, but it's not specific to all doors. Some doors you can shoot through, some doors you can't shoot through. I think it's just a silly hitbox issue. It's one of those really small things that we've not really looked at.
We're asking questions about the will AOBEA EU1 server crashes be fixed, and also the loss of key packets from PB. I don't know if that's your guys' side or not.
So server crashes is not really it's not really a specific issue. There are multiple things that can cause server crashes, so we fix them as we get them, I think. But you know, you can never really. I suppose you can somehow fix all the server crashes, but there will invariably be something that causes a crash that we've missed or is very rare. So we can never fix all of them, but we try to fix as many as we can, or as many as we come across. There's not too many left. One of which, well, I think there's a couple that are actually fixed in 1.9.
Will the Meteor mod on the Firebomb be available for every vehicle?
Yes, potentially. So the reason it was not originally on all of them, correct me if I'm wrong here, Quintal, is that it was actually bugged slightly, and we had to design the car around it, and it caused all sorts of slight issues when you stuck it on random cars. But we intend to try and make it available for all the vehicles.
But if you do that, will you be keeping Brick the same way? Or just have
we'd keep Brick the same way. I think we just make Meteor very difficult to get, maybe like a really high-end game Joker tickets style one.
Sorry, but I got another question I would like to ask, and it's regarding Car Surfer. Is there any plans to implement it in the future, or has it been scrapped completely?
It's not been scrapped, it's something we want to do. We just have to make it so that VIPs can't stand on top of cars, because you then effectively bypass the VIP speed limit. Oh, sorry, hold on, I've been corrected. It's been done already, it's fixed actually. In answer to that question, it will be added soon, judging by the time that it's finished.
Yeah!
It never used to slow down cars with VIPs on them, but now if you're standing on top of a car as a VIP, it will slow the car down.
I won't ask this. I'm telling the people in the stream I'm not going to ask this question because I know it's just going to start a huge fight about the merging servers. It was the combining the servers, but I'll
combining servers? No, not really.
Customizable service vehicles. Let's add to that, like any like ambulances, dump trucks.
Probably not. They're kind of cool because they're, you know, just part of the LC. I don't think we'd ever do that. I mean, I suppose we technically could, but they've never been done like that in the past. They've always been done as just vehicles in the environment that you could grab. I kind of like the idea that there are some vehicles that some players can't own. It'd be kind of lame, to be honest, with people driving around in dump trucks all the time. I'm gonna have to wrap it up quite soon. I've got an internal playtest coming up soon.
5 minutes, so?
Yeah, 5 minutes is just about right. So get the questions in now. Shut up. Got Jotunblut in my ear. I got Jotunblut in my ear. Spamming Snazzy.
Hello.
Oh, what about importing music so other can hear?
Importing music. No, like I'm not really sure what the issue is there. It's not something we've looked at. I think it's due to us not really dealing with Last.fm anymore. I think we actually intend to remove that feature for the time being until we can either fix it. It actually causes some problems.
Are you able to do a karaoke district?
A karaoke district?
Yeah. You have the in-game VoIP and everything.
Probably not, no. It could be painful.
Creed wants to know if there's any plans on reworking the TTK. But I know
it's a tough one. Quintal is very, very set on it. I mean, we have discussed. It's something that gets discussed a lot here. I won't give my stance on it. I'm like, suffice to say, I'm not all for it, but I do see the reasoning behind it. But I don't think we'd ever do it. We've discussed doing like an old school district, but the problem is the second you do that, you split your player base down the middle, and the matchmaking, you know, that is already not amazing, given the amount of players, becomes a lot worse because, yeah, we just split our player base because some prefer the slower TDK, some prefer the faster.
Do you plan on being able to get into the back seat of van, or the back doors of vans, or the side doors of security vans?
That functionality actually exists. It was originally around like in the early RTW days. I honestly can't remember why it was removed. If you let me, actually, I'll ask Quintal. So they were originally removed for optimization reasons, just to reduce the amount of load that was going on. It's something that would be potentially to do, and something that we'd kind of like to do, but it's not really a high priority thing at the moment, and it would be kind of like a nice little addition, the kind of thing Quintal might do at the weekend when he's not doing crazy things.
Why aren't there any animals in the game?
Because that would lead to massive amounts of animal cruelty, and then we'd get in trouble.
Is there any update on fixing the bug of the item holds when they crash into when a car explodes near a wall?
Yes, I believe that's actually fixed.
Okay.
Our lead programmer was taking a look at that. I think he's fixed it.
Should we lock this down and have one last question?
Yeah, give me one last best question.
There's only one question that hasn't been said that I can see, and it's about health bars.
Health bars is a good question. Health bars is something we have discussed, and it's kind of an interesting one. The problem with health bars is the second you add health bars, it dynamically alters gameplay, just through psychological means. The second you become aware of your own health, it alters your gameplay. You start to become very aware of how close you are to death, or how quickly you could die, and you know, added to that, you tend to see people make a lot less offensive plays and become a lot more defensive, dropping back because they know they're close to death, as opposed to our current system where, you know, people are slightly more risky than you would be in other games because you don't have a general indicator of how much health you have. But no, we'd never add them, I don't think. Just a quick addition from Quintal there. He's quite tempted to do it as a mod, but that's just it sounds like a health mod kind of thing. No clawing agent if you do use that one, but that's just a theory.
Okay, we're gonna thank you so much for your time, Revoemag, and sorry this turned more into a Q&A than just gameplay. We'll have another session if you'd like, and just play rather than ask you a million questions.
No, I enjoyed the Q&A. We should definitely do it more often. It would be nice to
I agree.
do them a go. I mean, I could try get some other team members in at some point as well.
I mean, we're up to 170 people, and my stream usually max out at 100, so yeah, you definitely draw a crowd here.
Be sure to post the highlights on the forums.
Yes, I'll make sure.
I would like that. And yeah, so I'll probably come on the stream another time, but chances are if we ever do another Q&A stream, it will be our own stream that we do it on, and there'll be multiple devs instead of just me, because I don't have the answers to all the questions. They do. I'm not a dev.
All right.
But yes, thank you for the questions.
Yeah.
There was some good ones.